Hi, I'm Amber Beard. I'm a producer at Penguin Random House Audio, and this is Meet the Producer. I get to work with so many great authors and produce so many wonderful audiobooks. But I'm honored to have produced Carrie Soto's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, The Only One Left by Middle of the Night, that was just came out by Riley Sager. The Nubia series by Omar Epps and Clarence A. Haynes, and also a personal favorite, working with Rachel Lindsay of Bachelorette fame on Miss Me With That and Real Love. Um, I've been honored to be an Audie's finalist for 4 times, but I think my proudest moment has been was being a finalist in 2023 for Book of the Year for the 1619 Project by Nicole Hannah Jones and the New York Times, which I co-produced with fellow producer Kelly Gilday. That book was just really meaningful to both of us, and it had original music, and it was just such a hands-on experience and so moving and important. And also that same year, Whoopi Goldberg presented us with the Special Industry Award for our work with the Penguin Random House audio mentorship, narrator mentorship program. So it was a wild night. It was really fun. Getting into audiobooks as a producer, I thought, I love mystery and thriller. I'm just going to produce all the mysteries and thrillers all day, every day. And while I do love doing that, I opened myself up and I started producing romances, rom-coms, and I was not the romance person. So I have learned to really love romances, especially historical ones. So it's been fun. I feel it was kind of like luck how I got into the audiobook industry. I had previously worked for a TV studio working with screenwriters and artists. I just love being surrounded by other creatives. I love TV. I really like it, but I love books. And I was always the book person at my job. People asked me for recommendations or what have you, and checked my Goodreads list. And I kept thinking like, wow, it would be great to work in publishing. But I was clueless. I had no idea really how to do that. And I thought the only jobs you could do was be an editor or maybe a copy editor or something like that. So I took a publishing course through the University of California, San Diego in copy editing. And I thought that would be a transferable skill. And, I thought about, do I need to move back to New York where I had gone to grad school, because that's where the industry is focused. But then as I was searching and looking around, I saw a job opening for Penguin Random House Audio in Woodland Hills, California, of all places. And I said, well, it was for a front desk, kind of assistant job. And I was like, well, I should try and apply for it. Amazingly, I, feel so honored and lucky that I got hired, and I just learned from the ground up, and I got to experience so much. Everyone was so giving with knowledge. I got to learn so much firsthand, and just hearing about audiobook production and seeing what went into it, I just knew that I really wanted to become a producer. Wow, so many books can be hard to produce or challenging. I mean, even the cutest little picture book can turn out to have unexpected hiccups or challenges to it. But I probably have to say the hardest book, or I would just say most challenging book that I've produced is a graphic novel called Just Roll With It by Veronica Agarwal and Lee Durfee-Lavoie that I co-produced with fellow producer Tender Korn. And it was my first time producing a graphic novel to that extent. And it was so exhaustive in terms of sound effects, music, just all the characters that we had to cover with narrators. And it also had the element of touching on a lot of like sensitive and important topics, some that were very like personal to the author, Veronica. And it also had an element of a cultural identity that we wanted to honor, gender identity, sexual orientation. And so it was a challenge with casting too. But I think the cast came out really well. We worked really closely with the authors on that. And we found people that could be versatile in terms of their voices and cover many characters, because, you need to have a voice for that kid in the back of the photo of the picture that says, hey, where's my lunch or whatever. So just making sure everything was covered. And then just like finding all the sound effects, finding the music, listening to all the takes and the retakes, making sure we've covered everything. It was challenging. It's a very immersive kind of experience. You don't have a lot of time for other projects, but the reward is there. It's so awesome to hear the final product and how it's just like stepping into a whole new world. And the authors were happy about it. So win-win on all fronts. So the Summer Pact is the third novel that I produced the audiobook for with Emily. I think we've got a great relationship and I'm always excited to read her next book. I thought this book it was a little different than our previous books, which focus more on romance. I mean, this book definitely has unexpected romance, but it really is like a love letter to friendship and what that means to these uh, three, four characters. And um, it was just very interesting to see, this book in terms of from her other books that had three shifting first person perspectives and just finding the right narrators for their personalities. For Hannah, I just thought Carissa Vacker would be perfect. She just has a way of conveying vulnerability with this quiet strength, which really suited Hannah. And I was happy that Emily agreed. For Tyson, JD Jackson has such a warm voice and he's so inviting that he definitely just suits that like friend that you want to tell all your secrets to over a cup of tea or coffee or wine. And for Lainey though, I thought she was a character that could go in a lot of different ways. And I was thinking of different narrators to suggest to Emily. And I kind of at the last hour thought Alex McKenna might be great for Lainey. But I thought she was a little bit of a wild card. Maybe it wouldn't be what Emily would be expecting to hear for Lainey. But I just really love Alex's raspy voice, her kind of the sassiness she can convey that would be like right for Lainey's character, but also, Lainey's sensitive and vulnerable moments as well. And Emily kind of went back and forth and was like, "Oh my God, I love Alex. For Lainey, whoa, let me just ask a few people what they think." And she came back and was like, "I love her for Lainey. I didn't like think of her, that way, but I think Alex would be just like perfect." So that was one of those fun like casting moments where uh, it was like maybe unexpected casting, but I think worked out really well. The recording went super smoothly. I mean, Carissa, JD, Alex are pros, and Kathy Thornburn, our director, made sure everything went smoothly. But Emily Giffin is an author that is published on CD, audiobook on CD, which is rare these days. But with CDs, there's always that challenge of the like manuscript schedule matching up with our CD warehouse delivery schedule, making sure we can get those CDs printed in time. And this schedule was particularly unforgiving and did not match well at all. So I had to be super on top of all the different passes of the manuscript that were coming in, what we could record from, and then just cross my fingers that by the time we were QCing the book and with the final script that there wouldn't be like a terrible amount of pickups for all the narrators to do and delay us getting the master in on time. But we all made it work. There weren't tons and tons of pickups, but yeah, it all came together and I'm super excited about it. This will be the third year that fellow producer Brian Romtron and I will be presenting audiobook production to the Los Angeles Review of Books publishing program. And we always look forward to it. It's so fun. I mean, it's so great that not only LARB and their fellows are interested in audiobook work, like audiobook production, and acknowledge it as, part of the publishing industry. I think it just shows how pervasive and how popular audiobooks have become. And the fellows always show so much interest in it and have such great questions. But we usually just talk to them about, how an audiobook is produced from acquisition all the way to like QC and editing. So we try to condense a lot in a little bit of time. We share some clips from our favorite like books we worked on over the year. And, we also talk about Ahab, our talent platform, and also the narrator mentorship program. So, give them a lot of information, and we have office hours with them too. And they ask us lots of great questions. And yeah, it's really rewarding. And it's just nice to like interact with people outside of our little sphere and just see the like up and coming publishing uh, force, like really be interested in audiobooks. My all-time favorite audiobook or production. Wow, it's really hard because they're all my babies and I love so many of them for different reasons, but I always kind of bring up this book when people kind of ask me a question like this. And I have a special place in my heart for House Party, edited by Justin A. Reynolds. It's a YA book. It's about a group of teens who are at a house party and how all their goals for the night kind of intersect and overlap and orbit around each other. And it's a really unique way to do one of these kind of author compilations. Rather than like a series of short stories, each author wrote a chapter from a certain character's perspective. So whenever that character popped up, it was a certain author writing that character. And it was very seamless. And I thought it was really amazing how well it all went together. And, but then each character had a very unique perspective and a unique flavor and were very vibrant characters. And we had a spectrum of ethnicity, gender identity, sexual orientation. So it's a very diverse casting. I actually hired one of the former mentees from the narrator mentorship program on it, Nikki Endress. And so that was wonderful being able to do that. There was even one of the authors wrote their sections as like in comic book form. And so it was almost like producing a mini like graphic novel within the book with sound effects and everything. And obviously music is a big part of the book. I handpicked the song that's in the intro and outro credits, to give the vibe. And then the author has a playlist in the book. The editor, Justin, has a playlist in the book of all these super awesome songs. And, for copyright reasons, we couldn't put them in the book. But I talked to him and he made a playlist, house party playlist on Spotify. So, for your next house party, you can listen to it. I just thought there were so many fun elements in the book that that made it so fun and I enjoyed. And yeah, it just always has a special place in my heart. It was really fun. I'm Amber Beard and this was Meet the Producer. Thanks for watching.